Hey everybody, wheelchair gunfighter here. We're in the Sons of God training facility, MMA gym here in Memphis, Tennessee. For those of you who don't know what Wheelchair Gunfighter or Project Wheelchair Gunfighter is about, we have kind of set out to show that certain individuals who are pretty physically capable, who are bound in the wheelchair, can be, with the right equipment, the right training, the right mindset, be just as tactically viable as anyone else in a stack. So that's kind of been the project of ours, and a lot of people have jumped on board with it. A lot of people have jumped on board with submitting gear, willing to make prototypes of specialized equipment, etc. So on that note, one of the companies who sent a piece of equipment out is Skalleywag Tactical. So today we'll be talking about their Dagger. And one of their guys, Craig, sent me this Dagger. He wanted to know what I thought about the knife in general and how it might enhance Project Wheelchair Gunfighter. As a general rule, I won't get too much into the tactics of fighting from wheelchair gunfighting, strategy, etc. But I will say that the little things that we consider advantages, a little advantage here, a little advantage there, really are amplified by the disposition of being in a wheelchair. They're quite a bit. So what might normally be a relatively menial advantage or disadvantage here or there, it really becomes much more pronounced with that dynamic. Taking away a lot of the mobility factor takes away a lot of options. It gives some more options in different ways, but looking for those little advantages here and there has really been the key to a lot of this, at least from translating it from person to person, different types of wheelchairs, different types of people, etc. So when we're talking about advantages in a knife, it really becomes a whole lot less about opinion and really about what you're trying to accomplish. And the concept, the realm that we're talking about is within the realm of violent conflict. You're not going to use the knife that you use to cut open boxes for your fighting knife. If you are, you're really giving yourself a disadvantage. You want to have a sharp knife, you want to have something that penetrates well, etc. So some of the things I look for in a knife is that I want that knife to be really, really good at least one thing. And by those things, I mean it's either a really good stabbing knife, very good at penetrating, it's a very good cutter, or due to the shape of the blade, it's very effective at chopping, meaning I can get through a bone and stuff. You're talking about like a kukri or an axe. So within the realm of small knives, we're really talking about stabbing, penetration power, and cutting. So if I get one of those things really, really good in a knife, that's what I'm looking for, and that's something that I would consider to carry on my person for defensive purposes. So with that in mind, I would definitely say this accomplishes one of those tasks. This is definitely built for penetrating soft tissue. The geometry is obvious. Very, very thick spine. Almost no edge whatsoever. I think the edge angle on this is something like 40 degrees. It's definitely not meant for cutting. It's just to give a little bit more aerodynamics, but they want to keep it nice and thick to reinforce that spine. This is definitely a stabber. It's not really anything else. But it's nice and short. The actual blade part is only about that long right there. And I'd say that it's probably 2.5, 2¼ inches. That's legal in a lot of municipalities. That opens up a lot of possibilities. Of course, you have to worry about the definition of dagger or push dagger. Or it depends on your local knife laws. I mean, definitely know your local knife laws. But another thing I look for is its ability to be adaptable, meaning that I can hold it a number of ways. If I can hold it a number of ways, I can employ it a number of ways. I would like it to be relatively neutral, meaning that I can hold it with either hand, up or down, and the physics of the knife don't change much. I mean, think the opposite of that. Think about a karambit. Karambit is very dedicated directionally. So, as you can see, it's very, very neutral in that sense. I can choke up in a number of places, right? I can choke up in a number of places, and due to the shape of the handle and the blade itself, there are a lot of ways to get a positive engagement with your grasp. I can choke up really deep, I can grab down here on the loop and use that as a handle in itself, and have a very positive grip either way. You'll obviously notice the large finger loop in the back makes drawing very positive. I can, stick my hand where the knife is, put a finger in that loop and draw the knife. Definitely enhances that way, and obviously the width of the loop enhances the grip part, as we talked about. But one of the things I look for, going back to the neutral handle, is not just be able to hold it different ways, but be able to transition my grip. And a lot of knives is pretty similar, but with this one, not any more difficult, but it's just different. With the loop, you can insert a finger and operate the knife for different hand positions based on which finger is in the loop. So I can slide it down, insert my pinky, and flip it around for a frontal stabbing motion. I can, from that same position, insert my thumb and invert it for a different grip. A little bit harder for me to do slowly. You consider it needs to do a flipping motion. You can also, the fingers that are inserted, you can use the loop as an enhancement for a strike. I believe that was one of the original design parameters, one of the intended purposes. So it definitely fits that role very nicely. Whatever finger is inserted, right, I have that enhancement. So it just increases, it gives me more options, more geometries to work from, and increases the number of force factors that I can generate from any kind of spontaneous situation. So there's a lot of room for being adaptable, grabbing it from different angles, shifting my grip, etc. You can have more of a push dagger sort of grip on it, and all of it very, very positive on the grip. Very thick spine. That's probably, it's at least a 1/4 inch, if not more. So very solid chunk of steel, very well thought out. Definitely an operator's tool. The sheath, I won't get too much into the sheath because a few companies now are making sheaths for this knife. And I have the one from High Speed Gear, and I'll be probably do a separate video on the sheaths because I'm waiting for another one to come in from Mark Bossa and Tearing Co. I'm not sure I agree with the retention method on the High Speed Gear sheath, but we'll address that at a later time. The sheath that came with it is this hard plastic sheath. It's not Kydex. I'm not really sure which type it is, but you can adjust the belt loop for different angles of carry. But I just left it as it came in the straight up, the more vertical position. I just keep it right here in the middle of my body, and I can access it with either hand with equally positive engagement. So they definitely got a lot of things right with this, and I've definitely added to my everyday carry, at least for now. So I could get something better to come along, but that's going to be hard to beat. So that's my take on the Skalleywag Tactical Dagger. Feel free to hit me up via YouTube or email. They're available on my YouTube channel. Hit me up for questions about the Dagger or anything else. Talk about guns, knives, whatever. And yeah, so thanks for watching.